Hey, I'm John Hope Bryant, founder, chairman, and chief executive officer of Operation Hope. I'm so excited to announce that we have the future King of Norway, His Royal Highness Crown-Prince-Haakon of Norway, to come and join us for the Hope Global Financial Dignity Summit. You might have saw me or heard me hesitate a little bit there because I'm not used to calling him by his full title. For me, he's like a brother. He's certainly a dear friend. We're young global leaders together. We're co-founders of Global Dignity together, along with our brother from another mother, also Pekka Himanen of Finland, Professor Pekka Himanen of Finland. And all three of us came together through the Young Global Leaders in the World Economic Forum back several years ago in 2004 to try to make the world a better place. That vision to create a new language of dignity in the world, something that young people could grab a hold of that was non-offensive to any leader in the world at a time where conservatives and liberals can't get along, Republicans and Democrats can't seem to get along, even people of different religions can't seem to get along. The Christians have a problem with the folks in the Middle East. The folks in the Middle East have a problem with our Jewish brothers, and it's all complicated. And in this environment, East and West have its frictions, and Europe and Africa have some challenges, and Asia and America are having some challenges, and it goes on and it goes on and it goes on. But what can bring us together? Dignity. That's the one thing that everybody agrees on. Nobody argues that everybody wants more dignity. And so this is a unifying thing that we decided to build a culture around and language around. But in order for me to have more dignity, I've got to extend it to you. In order for you to have more dignity, I've got to possess it within me. And we found that it has been so successfully received that people have basically taken upon themselves around the world to spread a mission, which is now in 50 plus countries. Global Dignity Day is now in 50 plus countries. And so when I talk about financial dignity, Sean Cleary, one of the advisors to me in Operation Hope, reminded me that you cannot have financial dignity without having human dignity. And as God would have it, history and purpose came together because this year is the 49th anniversary, 1 year shy, of Dr. King receiving the Nobel Peace Prize. Well, where's Crown Prince Haakon from? He's from Norway. Where did Dr. King get the Nobel Peace Prize? In Norway. So it was Crown Prince Haakon's grandfather who stood beside Dr. King as he won the Nobel Peace Prize, not for helping just black people, but really helping America to achieve her greatest potential. To quote Dr. King, the civil rights movement was about redeeming the soul of America from the triple evils of war, racism, and poverty. And that, in other words, when blacks won in that environment, America won. And it's about all of her children having a place in this democracy, in this prosperity. And when that happens, everybody wins. People forget that the March on Washington, when Dr. King gave the I Have a Dream speech, was a march for jobs and freedom. You cannot have one without the other. In fact, I'd argue today that freedom is self-determination. So it makes sense that almost 50 years since the Nobel Peace Prize, since my hero, Ambassador Andrew Young, flew with Dr. King, his friend, to Norway to receive the Nobel Peace Prize as arguably the greatest leader, or certainly one of the greatest leaders of the 20th century. It makes sense that Ambassador Andrew Young and the Crown Prince Haakon of Norway, the grandson of the gentleman who received Dr. King at that time, would sit down with the daughter of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., my friend, Dr. Bernice-a-King, who today sits as the CEO of the King Center in Atlanta, Georgia, my friend and an Operation Hope board member. So as we try to bridge from civil rights to civil rights, as we try to work on the last piece of Dr. King's work, the Poor People's Campaign, with our Project 5117, more on that later, to give people human dignity and financial dignity and economic empowerment and choices in their lives, as we try to eradicate poverty by giving people a sense of self-determination and personal esteem and opportunity and options in life. It is beautiful to have at the Hope Global Financial Dignity Summit on November 13th and 14th this new conversation, to have these young leaders in the name of HRH-crown-prince-haakon of Norway, bernice-a-king, to sit down almost 50 years later, bridged by Dr. Ambassador Andrew Young, Reverend also, and my friend Soledad O'Brien, our friend. Really, she loves Ambassador Andrew Young. Got to ask her about that when you see her. To have them all sit in conversation about where do we go from here. That's Dr. King's last book, Chaos or Community. Where do we go from here? To sit in conversation about how would this young generation wrap their hands around a new mission of social justice and economic parity and ownership and opportunity. How would this young generation embrace a mission of global dignity? Who today could win the Nobel Peace Prize? Would kids want to win the Nobel Peace Prize? Do kids know how to win the Nobel Peace Prize? More importantly, do they live their life in such a way that they'd be considered for such? Should this be an aspiration? Can we produce a generation of Dr. Kings today? Because, you know, Dr. King was a young man when he won the Nobel and traveled to Norway. And so here we go again, almost 50 years later, in a new conversation at a new time about the same topic. I do believe rainbows follow storms. I do believe that our best years are ahead of us. And I do believe that we can create a world where everybody gets a fair shot. There will be magic on the stage at the Hope Global Financial Dignity Summit. Join us there, either in person or online. God bless you.